Hi, I'm really excited to be here. We're at the HCM Excellence Conference 2019. We are in Florida, beautiful weather. We have a lot of people traveling all over from California. We have Adrian Stevens from HPE, the VP of Learning. Welcome.
Thank you.
And also Sonia Ng, the Director of Leadership and Business Solutions. Welcome here.
Thank you so much.
Well, I'm really excited to chat with both of you today. Adrian, you've been at our conference before. It's a real treat to have Sonia. We've spoken before on the phone, and we talked a lot about different topics of what's happening in the learning and the talent industry. It's an exciting time. Before we kind of talk about some of the cool stuff you have underway, Adrian, tell us a little bit about your background and some of your responsibilities.
Yeah, thank you. So goodness me, my background, well, it's quite remarkable to reflect on, but I've actually been with Hewlett Packard Enterprise and, of course, HPE prior to the separation for 18 years now. So that's a happy accident, and I actually came into the tech ecosystem in sales and go-to-market responsibilities. I love that career journey, but at the end of the day, began to realize that what I was most passionate about was really helping and supporting others to fundamentally succeed. And I was very enamored with sort of the learning portfolios that I had access to. And I figured if I could make that my focus to really help develop compelling opportunities to grow people, it would be rewarding. And so that was my journey into learning and development. And that, again, has been a happy cycle of experiences to now find myself with the wonderful responsibility of helping guide that for Hewlett Packard Enterprise today now.
That's great. And what we see, the learning role has shifted. There is a marketing aspect of being able to attract your audience.
Yes.
So having that sales marketing background and then also transitioning into the learning environment, I'm sure that was a great advantage or a competitive advantage for your team.
Yes, I mean, it's something that we're absolutely mindful of. There is so much remarkable content out there, whether it's licensed content that you've paid for, it's solutions that you're building, and so often they can accidentally be the best kept secrets. And so we are very attuned now to the fact that so much of what we need to do more of is to better market and position and align the relevant solutions that we have for the right target audiences,
right.
And also fundamentally cultivate some excitement around learning. And so that whole idea of fostering a culture of learning where people are genuinely curious, maybe a little anxious to continue to, I guess, build their capabilities is really important to us, and it's a big part of our overall strategy.
Excellent. And Sonia, can you tell us a little bit about your responsibilities, your background?
Absolute background is similar in some ways to Adrian, so I think you caught the passion in his voice.
Okay.
I would say passion is probably what drove me into this field as well. Been with Hewlett Packard Enterprise not quite as long as Adrian, been about 8 years now, and in that time have been focusing primarily on leadership development. So I was brought in to start one of their leadership programs, which became the foundation for the whole curriculum that we built out today. So it really addresses everything from individual contributors who are looking and thinking about a role in leadership all the way to the executive level. And that passion that I bring comes from just all these years of working in the learning and development field and really feeling like I have a hand in helping people to realize their potential, really helping people to see that there's more within them that maybe they had even realized themselves. So having the opportunity to do that with Adrian and the great work that we're doing at Hewlett Packard Enterprise has been really exciting.
Great. And so tell me a little bit about some of your leadership programs. What are some of the what ones are that you find are most successful, and what contributes to that?
Right. Anything that really focuses on what we call participant-centered learning. So really focusing on drawing from the wisdom of the participants. It's less about us telling them, here's all the things that make up a great leader, and more about pulling from them. What are your experiences of yourself as a leader? What are experiences that you've had of other great leaders that you've worked with? And really helping them to share those experiences with each other. So I think that participant-centered adult learning model works really well. And I think also making sure that we're trying to relay training in a way that is not just relevant, but also just in time. So we're experimenting a bit with some modular content. So making them bite-sized, chunked pieces of content that people can access real time in the moment when they need it.
Great. And leaders learn from each other. and they emulate each other,
Absolutely.
the good and the bad. So I think that the more that you can bring together leaders, and they can, they can take away the strengths, and they can identify with their type of style, then that enhances who they are and what they can give back to their teams and to the people that are in their community.
And really encouraging them too to really express that style. I think one
Right.
of the things that also that we focus on is human-centered leadership, which is really about bringing your authentic self to work and your authentic self to your role. And there are just so many different leadership styles, and there's no right or wrong. There's just how you apply it, how you relate to people and connect with people. So really encouraging people to bring that out.
I've seen that a lot in our research as well. When we've, I've spoke to so many different leaders over the last couple of years within the context of our leadership development study, as well as our gender equality study that we have. And it's fascinating to see the different and unique aspects of what makes a great leader. And there are some common trends: the authenticity, the ability to embrace diversity. And so there's these common elements. Are there other things that you would, Adrian, what would you say that makes a great leader?
Yeah, we've thought about this long and hard, and did quite a bit of research around what we felt could really help move the needle in starting to cultivate a leader that was, in some respects, digital ready and able to navigate, the disruption that we see just in terms of how companies are having to evolve their org designs, their go-to-market strategies, how they use technology, and just the pace and rate of change is so intense. It can
Sure.
often create a ton of uncertainty. And we've definitely lived and breathed a lot of that based on our own journey as a company through one of the largest corporate separations, I think to date still, and then our own cycle of transformation. And what we found looking at all the various things that you could start to hone in on is we really wanted to make sure we could start to cultivate leaders that were remarkable at driving clearly performance in terms of the business that they're responsible for or accountable for, but equally engagement. And if they could drive performance outcomes while building high levels of engagement amongst their employee base, and you could say it's bidirectional, right? The engagement will drive performance and so forth.
Sure.
That was really going to be a critical requirement. And so we've looked at, yes, authentic leadership, inclusive leadership as core principles. And we've also kind of distilled it down to a set of expectations that we feel that if leaders can do well, it'll amplify their ability to lead performance and engagement. And so it's simple things. It's how they engage teams. So that's all about setting clear direction, creating a sense of purpose around the work at hand, so people kind of buy into it, want to apply discretionary effort, how to kind of energize their teams and create momentum. It's a set of simple guidance behaviors, if you like, that if you can do more of this, you're more able to cultivate engagement and performance.
Absolutely.
Empowering is another example. How do you bring out the best in people? What levers do you have, whether it's coaching or mentoring? As simple examples, learning fast, a big play for us. So I think many people are familiar with the philosophy around growth mindset. And so what can we do again to support leaders become growth mindsetters, if you like, encouraging the teams to debrief from experiences, to appreciate the potency of failure, but to move on quickly and adjust and adapt and put into action what they've learned. And then execution is still a big one for us. And that's not simply about hitting an outcome, but doing it through others, recognizing excellence, appreciating effort through that process, and of course winning the right way.
Right.
So these are sort of the principles that we have started to rally around, and this is where Sonia's work is so timely around that whole modularization, so you can build awareness of these pieces, but also how that participant-centered drilling and skilling helps give leaders a sense of awareness around where they are on a continuum of doing those things well, and then of course begins to equip them with simple techniques that can amplify the value they can create.
And you have a great culture, and I see it.
Yes.
You have several team members here with you, and you can tell in the way that you interact with each other and the respect that you have for each other. How have you, what attributes to shaping that type of culture? What do you think? How did that happen naturally, or was there a secret sauce?
You have to have an intention. And I think we are lucky in many respects because, Hewlett Packard Enterprise, while it's a relatively new enterprise coming out of the separation, the company itself has its roots in HPE, and that goes back some 80 years. And those original founders, Bill Hewlett, Dave Packard, they were as much social innovators as they were product innovators, and paid a lot of attention to the employee experience. And we're not deluded to the sense that, hey, we all want to be a happy family and always be kind consistently.
Sure.
Business dynamics are intense at times. There's a lot of natural adrenaline in the system. But what we do want to be, I think, Sonia, you said it, that human-centered approach to how we work. And so, we have Antonio Neri as our CEO today, and he is as passionate and as on point with his messaging to the company about our growth opportunities and what that means in very real and raw business terms. He's equally passionate about culture and how it feels to come and work and contribute at HPE, and what that means in terms of the opportunities you have as an employee and the kind of environment we want to create for each other. And because we have been through a cycle of turnaround and transformation, those are hard years. I think there's an appetite now that we've got through that. So let's link arms, and rally together. And I think it's more fun to go achieve outcomes if you're enjoying yourself than if you just fire it down the entire time.
Right.
So I think
you'll
we're
burn
conscious
people
of that.
out. And
Exactly,
they'll
yeah,
leave,
yeah.
and you got to find that right mix.
Yes.
I think it comes down to leadership, what we were talking about. When you think about Antonio, fantastic story. He started off as a customer service engineer, rose up through the ranks to now the highest level in the organization. And so I think he's brought all those experiences as an employee with him.
Right.
So I think it starts at the top, that leadership and that tone.
The tone.
that's
He's
being set.
relatable.
Yes.
Exactly. And so I think he knows, what's important for people to feel when they work somewhere.
Sure.
And so I think he's trying to cultivate that and bring that back.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, well, anything else that you'd like to share before we end our little chat here?
John? Just obviously it's exciting to be back here at Brandon Hall, and I think what we've always enjoyed is that balance of research and insight coupled with some meaningful case studies, so we can begin to become more aware of what we are perhaps doing well, or also where we have opportunities to evolve what we're doing to support our people leaders and our employees. So thanks for the chance to make a
And we get
contribution
to hear
this.
more about our community here this week, or we'll learn more about some of the initiatives that you won,
Yes, that's true.
and so we're excited.
Thank you.
Excited
Thank
to
you.
just meet everybody and learn more myself. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sonia. Thank you, Adrian.
Thank you so much.